What's going on, guys? Welcome back to week 2 of the Uhhh7 Fantasy Pod. I'm joined with James Derrick and Nathan Donnelly, and today we're here to talk about Uhhh7 Fantasy Football. Now, boys, let's get into week 2. How do we feel?
So we're feeling pretty good. Um, I've I've been a victim of the week one kind of. After the first week, you get hit up with the trades. You
Oh,
know how the players are doing.
yep.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
if you text me and ask me for a player on my team, I will not make you an offer because I don't want the player on your team. You want the player on my team, James.
So what you're saying is, don't text you and say, "I want Davon A. Chain. Give me an offer."
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Wait a
Because
minute.
first of all, I don't want to give up A Chain. Second of all, you're the one who wants A Chain, okay? Like you want him. So tell me what you would give me for A Chain. Probably not enough, but tell me what you would give me. Yes, James.
So just as a public service announcement to anybody listening to this podcast, please, what?
Please send an offer if you want one of my players. Does that make sense?
So,
It makes sense,
to
right?
yes.
Okay.
I think that's pretty clear for everybody. I would say as a general statement, if you're going to go to someone individually about a trade, do not ask them to generate an offer for you for the player that you want. Make your own offer, please, because this is a real thing that's been happening for the past few years, and quite frankly, it's very annoying. It is really annoying, and it's also like unrealistic. Like it just doesn't happen.
Yes, and we will get into the flow of negotiations where it goes back and
Right.
forth because I might get interested in your player or somebody else. Somebody else might enter the negotiations. It'll get into a flow. But like starting off the bat, you ask me for one of my players, I'm not making you an offer to give up that player. I don't want to give up that player. Why would I drafted him if I would have thought about giving him up? Yes.
Yeah, and I have to give an example. I really hate to call out Sean Mays. You're not the only person who does this, but you texted me the other day and said, "What do you want for Baker?" And quite honestly, I love Baker Mayfield. I
Baker's
don't want to
awesome.
give him up. However, I there's no trade talk that comes from that. I say I don't want to give up Baker. Trade talk is over. Now, if you come to me with an offer, then I can decline your offer, accept your offer, or give a counter offer.
Negotiate. Yes. A
Please.
ball has to get rolling.
We don't have to talk about this for.
We don't. We
but,
don't.
I mean,
but
I'll-
just
yeah. I'll make another
Take it away.
Schmaze point. You texted me today at 8:35 in the morning. By the way, I
Why
can't
are you
believe
thinking about fantasy that early, bro?
Well,
Get
I
to
was-
class.
I was up thinking about fantasy this early too.
Okay, never mind.
I'm just kidding. Who the hell is thinking about fantasy at 8:35 in the morning?
Get to class, Unc. Like,
Yeah,
what do
for
you
real.
do?
Go to class. He texts me. Who would I need to give up for Kelsey? Just wondering. Brother, tell me what you want. Like what you will give up for Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
That is what I want to hear. Not like, oh, what would you think?
I'll give
So-
you a handshake and a pat on the ass.
So that's to wrap it up for this PSA because boys, this is getting a little out of hand. Make an offer if you want to trade.
it's childish.
It is.
All right.
Unfortunately.
So week 2. Looking at this little graphic here. Oh, I also do want to address. There's no video this week.
There isn't.
We really couldn't figure out a way this week to make video work and make it look good. So we're just gonna go with the boys, and we're in the dorm room. So we're actually, it's a vibe in here. We got the LEDs on. We're sitting in a circle. We can actually see each other this week, and we're comfortable. So, getting into the actual football, James, is there a key point that you wanna talk about, or
I think we can just wrap up some trade talk. I know we had the trade talk PSA. There's a couple trades that we need to revisit after week 1. Actually, I say a couple, but there's really only one
There's
big
one.
one. I'll let you guys take this one away. I mean, Austin, you're the one who was affected by this way more. So talk about your trade with Aiden Kerr. Pros and cons. What happened this week?
I think regarding that trade, I got what I wanted in a lot of points from Cooper Cup. I really,
Lot
really,
of
really.
points.
I mean, 32, correct?
Yeah.
So the whole preface of the trade was me to get Cooper Cup. I in fact actually reached out to Aiden Kerr for Cooper Cup. So I gave him Zay Flowers and I gave him James Conner. Those players both outscored Javante Williams, who I also got back in return with Cooper Cup.
Javante actually had a horrendous week.
Javante had a horrible
Not
week.
good.
So I would say the trade as a whole, if you're going off overall points, I won
Yeah, I
week
mean,
one.
quite simply, Cooper Cup outscored both James
Yeah,
Conner and Zay Flowers. From a point standpoint, you won the trade
but Zay Flowers looked really, really good because he
when he
was
touched
getting
the ball.
when he touched the ball.
Yeah.
Holy cow, he looked faster than last year. He looked like his hands were better because remember the drop ball in the playoffs.
Hmm.
That looked a little bit better, and Lamar seemed to actually want to target him a little bit. I
Hmm.
know it was a lot of Isaiah Likely, but I think moving forward, like because James Conner as well is the leading back in Arizona, and they didn't even throw the ball that much, and when they did, it was Trey McBride.
Hmm.
I think moving forward, though, I'm still going to give myself a W because Cooper Cup is wide receiver one on the LA Rams without Puka Nakua because Puka Nakua is out for at least 4 weeks.
I think
At
that's a
least
big
4 weeks. Yeah. Being a former Lamar owner, he scares me a little bit. Like I would kind of be
Yeah,
nervous picking up Zay Flowers. Sometimes he'll just miss a guy. Like he'll just completely just miss the throw because he's a running back. Like so he is a little nerve wracking. Zay Flowers looked really good. Cooper Cup is the wide receiver one without Puka Nakua easily. There's talks about the Whittington, like Jordan Whittington or
stop
something.
it
It's yeah, it's not. It's
because
Cooper Cup.
And
James.
I don't think there's really any discussion about the wide receiver one. But I think if anything is going to bolster the fact that you possibly won that trade with Aiden Kerr, obviously there's a lot more weeks to go through to really see who benefits the most because Aiden Kerr does start two pretty good players because of that trade. Puka Nakua being injured for at least the next 4 games really bolsters the fact that Cooper Cup might score 20 plus every week when he's gone. With Puka Nakua healthy, we could be having a different conversation about that trade. Maybe Cooper Cup really only scores 18 points this week, and you traded, two guys who could, you know, produce for one guy who can produce.
I think when it comes to Puka Nakua coming back, if Cooper Cup is going to put up the production like he did on Sunday, which by the way ties his career receptions, 14.
It was a lot.
That
He
was
was
a lot of
involved.
receptions. If that's every night, that's triple crown Cooper Cup.
That's Cooper Cup that people were taking
That's
first in fantasy
that's
drafts.
Cooper Cup that I had and I was undefeated. That I fell in love with Cooper Cup. That's the guy that I'm looking for and that who he looks to be again because when Puka Nakua comes back, if Cooper Cup's production is up that much, do you really think Stafford's just going to start throwing the ball to Puka Nakua more because he's back? No, that's not how that works. Like, he's going to get the ball, Puka Nakua, but like, Cooper Cup is going to keep his same production that he's had because he's playing so well, if it stands.
Yeah, I mean, especially because injuries can linger and some snaps can be shot down. So while he's out for 4 games, we know that first game he comes back to play, he might be 50% of the snaps,
Yeah,
and maybe the
exactly.
game after that. So now we have 6 weeks where Cooper Cup is a bona fide wide receiver one, and he was a triple crown winner in the same exact scenario. So I mean, that huge.
I mean, when Cooper Cup came back from his injury, he came in stages. So we're going to see the same thing with Puka Nakua. It's the same staff, same everything. So, Nate, do you have anything on that for you, Nathan, or you just
No, I'm looking. We started talking about you. I'm looking at this past week, man.
okay?
Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. I think we should get into
you
the
were
matchups.
you were. I believe you were the low scorer of the week.
I was the lowest scorer of the week,
You
unfortunately.
played. Did you play the second low scorer of the week in Garrett, or was there somebody else below that?
I believe it was Garrett. This was a horrible
Oh
matchup. Like
no,
horrible matchup.
Nate scored less than Garrett.
Oh yeah, he
But yes,
not by
it was a
much. It was
not
by
by
3.
much. It was a bad matchup. Without Cup, you have absolutely no chance. Uh, it is
Damn.
it's I'm saying
Yeah, I mean,
it's
no,
not
you're not wrong.
it's
I mean,
not a good showing.
Yeah, so let's take it
yeah.
matchup by matchup. Let's review last week. Start at the top.
Brief review.
Um,
I feel like we should
brief
because
review.
we want to get
yeah, we need
you
to
know,
be able to review last week and then also
and then
touch
there's a
on.
lot of points that we want to talk about this week. So I don't really know if we're gonna get into individually every single matchup for week 2 because Garrett already did that. If you want to see the individual matchups for week 2, go watch the Fantasy Focus on Instagram. I feel like we should stay away from that and just let Garrett do that stuff.
Yeah, we can take a dive into uh, what we got on our week 1
Right.
matchups, which I guess I'm talking already, I guess I'll start with
Yeah, go ahead.
the first points that I had. Let James Cook and Niners QB room. Uh, I came away with the W there.
Yeah.
One
That
one
was-
forty
Why
one.
did you come away with the W?
So this is just it's honestly really sad. Um, Niners QB room, Stevie, you gave me a run for my money.
We
I
all
mean,
counted him out.
we all counted you out. Your
Yeah.
kicker put up a lot of points, and that might be where this 137 came from. However, not just that. I mean, you guys your guys played really well, and the reason I won this week came down to one play.
A 1 yard play.
1 yard play, Buccaneers, Commanders. Rashad White runs the ball on something in goal down to the one. And instead of pounding it back in with Rashad White and giving 6.1 points to Niners QB room, they went for a throw, little fade.
Little fade to
Mike
Mike Evans.
That gives me 7.1 points, and I win the week by 4.
Yep.
So that's a massive swing
Huge swing.
that could take Sean
That's
uh,
actually crazy.
past me, and it doesn't happen. But that also leads me to my next point, and I have written down Mike Evans and Tyreek Hill will produce no matter what. Guys, what do you agree?
I couldn't agree more.
I agree. Unfortunately, I took Nico Collins over Mike Evans. I'm not regretting it, but I was doubting Mike Evans a little bit. How old is Mike Evans?
It's 32.
32. It's kind of old, but he'll still eat. I did not. I wasn't doubting him, but at the same time,
Sorry, he's
He-
31.
certainly still has it. And if he has nothing else, he has the 1 yard fade routes to win games of the week.
I mean, he's Baker Mayfield's favorite
He's
target
Baker
by
Mayfield's
like.
favorite target.
It's so
Baker
he's so
Mayfield
clearly Baker's.
is start over only like over everybody except for like 4 guys, I think.
I agree. I mean, Baker
He's-
Mayfield. I
he's
think is a
nuts
really
right
good
now.
quarterback. I love Baker Mayfield. Tampa loves him, so they're gonna get a good system in for him.
Baker's the greatest mid quarterback there will ever be.
Thank you,
Oh my god.
Thank you, Ryan Lombardi.
That would be Ryan Lombardi.
that
Everybody.
take.
That is Ryan Lombardi.
He's off to the library.
I only have one other thing for me. I mean, Mark Andrews. We can talk about that. We can talk about Isaiah Likely, but I think the bigger overarching point here is tight ends did not produce in week 1. I
Not
mean,
at
we're
all.
talking about top tight ends that were taken in the draft. First one was Kelsey, didn't produce.
Yeah, I took him.
Then we got Sam Laporta, didn't produce. Mark Andrews didn't produce. I think you have to go all the way down the draft board to Kyle Pitts. He's the first tight end that produced.
And he like caught a touchdown.
That's
didn't
it.
he?
And that
That was
caught a
all he
touchdown.
did was
literally.
catch that
I think he just caught a touchdown.
I think he had like what 11 points.
Yeah, he.
Yeah, so
Something like
that's
that.
really something you can touch on for everyone's team. So now moving away from me, let's talk about Sean. I mean, Derrick Henry didn't have a great week, but I'm not sure if it's time to panic on that yet. Obviously, they had a really big week 1 matchup where maybe Derrick Henry doesn't fit into the role of the game. We know A.J. Brown is legit, but the one thing that I actually wanted to touch on is Tony Pollard really ate on your bench, Sean. So maybe he earned himself a starting spot.
Yeah, I think you should start Tony Pollard next week, Sean. He looks really good. I actually watched a lot of that Tennessee game. He looks really good.
He looked really good, and there wasn't as much Tyjae Spears as they made it
Yeah.
sound like there would be. So.
And the Tennessee offense looks decent. I mean, Will
Yeah.
Levis isn't the greatest quarterback, but it looked really good in the first half. I don't know if you guys watched the first half of that game.
I
It was,
can't
it
even
was
say that.
really
I
good
did.
offense.
I did not watch a lot of the Tennessee game, but I would start Pollard next week. I haven't looked at the matchup. You're not gonna sit Henry. He's got 6 consecutive seasons of double-digit touchdowns. Like you can't sit that. And I would put Rashad White in timeout. I would give Rashad White a 1-week timeout. And if he puts up 30, screw me. He puts up 30.
Yeah.
Like I would put him in timeout.
All right, moving on to the next matchup. Let's go back. Let's pivot back to my matchup with Garrett.
Yeah.
All
sorry,
in.
I moved on from that a little preemptively.
All in, put up 91.48 points. Passa Johnson, which is me.
That was before Monday night. Sorry,
Yeah.
didn't adjust the figure, but 91 before Monday night.
No, this is final score.
It
No,
is,
it's, yeah,
okay.
it's final.
Final score 91.48 points. Passa Johnson, Austin, I put up 83.76 points. This is one of the worst weeks of fantasy I've ever had in my life. I don't know if you guys remember last year I put up 60.
Yeah, you had 60.
That was really bad.
That was
This
funny.
team is 10 times better than that team, and it took Cooper Kupp for me to not do that.
Yeah.
Here,
I'm gonna let you take this whole matchup away. I mean, this is close
Okay.
to you.
Yeah,
so.
go for it.
Um, yo, Kyler Murray. Yeah, like real, real shit. Kyler Murray. What the hell? Literally, what the hell?
How
That
many
is all
times
I
did he
can.
throw to him? How many times did he throw?
Three.
He threw 3 times to
Marvin
Marv.
Harrison Jr. got the ball 3 times, and guess how many times he caught it?
Once, right?
Once.
Oh, you caught it once. Yeah.
He did have a drop. He had a flat out drop.
Guys,
I don't know if you saw it.
Guys,
But it's besides the point.
3 targets, 1 reception, 4 yards. Kyler Murray, did you know he was wide open in the end zone for you to win the damn game?
Okay, but Marv is like, or Kyler's like 4 feet tall. He can't see over
can't see
everybody.
over
He
You need to-
cannot see
Bro,
Marv.
you know those insoles in the shoes that's advertised all the time?
Oh,
Get
that
some. Kyler
raises
Murray.
like 4 inches.
you
no,
need that,
yeah,
bro.
he needs to wear those.
That's my rant about Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm sorry. I think he's gonna be really good the rest of the
No,
season.
you will.
Take
He's
us.
too talented to not be.
I'm gonna touch. Brees Hall looked amazing, looked incredible. He's getting the production. He just didn't score as much as he probably should have. Cooper Cup, you look incredible, bro. I love you. Like he looks exactly what I thought he was gonna look like this year, and that is back to being on top. Travis Kelce, you're disappointing. I mean, that was week 1. I'm gonna tell you right now, guys. He's available for trade.
Yeah, but you gotta think
Yo.
that. I mean, none of the tight ends produce, and sometimes that
None of
position
them
gets
did.
off to a slow start at the beginning of the
Yeah,
year.
you know why he's available for trade though? Because I need a freaking running back other than Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, I could start Zeke, but I want to look for others. Looking at Garrett's side, Josh Allen, if he didn't have those 2 fumbles, he probably would have had like 40 something points.
Which is
It's actually insane.
Nuts.
Jonathan Taylor wasn't very like good, I would say, but he also wasn't like in the offense a lot. I don't know if you guys watched the Colts game. For me, that was game of the week. That Colts
Colts Texans.
Texans
back
game.
and
Yeah.
forth, really.
Jonathan
Like
Taylor,
that.
I didn't really see I didn't really see you do much on the field. Brandon Ayuk, that's really tricky, man. It was weird. I thought he was going to get the ball a lot more. He didn't really get targeted a lot. He just got paid, so I was expecting him to do something.
I mean, he did. He had his hands on a touchdown in the end zone. I'm pretty sure all of us watched that Monday night, and he dropped it. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Has he been practicing,
Yeah.
or has he been holding out like Jamar
Has he been practicing of not getting the ball?
Ayuk?
Because like
Ayuk?
I don't believe so. I wouldn't think
I
so.
think he was actually holding.
I
out.
think Ayuk was also one of those guys that's holding out. He's
Yeah.
not practicing, but then he also wants to make the argument, "I'm ready to go. I can play." But then you drop a touchdown
When
in
he
the
might
end zone,
be
so maybe
he might be
not.
conditioned, but he hasn't been playing football.
Yeah.
Like that's not you're not going to score well the first week doing that.
So-
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So do you guys? I mean, this matchup sucks. Like, do you have any thoughts about it? Any
Final thoughts
closing remarks?
are really just that was the Tank Bowl of the week. Austin, you really shouldn't be starting any Panthers players for the rest of the year.
Oh, that is a point I actually wanted to make. I
Yep.
have this on the board. It's right here on the board. We're looking at a board, guys, because we prepare. Guys, don't start a single Carolina player because I watched that game. You can't even say it's the O-line's fault anymore for Bryce Young. He just sucks.
So bad.
He's missing guys by like 5 feet, 10 feet, and it's not even close. Like, Bryce Young, what are you doing? Like, I get it, your O-line is trash, but these are throws you're able to make and that you're making that are supposed to be good throws. The wide open guys, missing them. Don't start a Carolina player.
Yeah, we have that in the hot take category. It really doesn't need to be.
Well, it's
No.
only hot because it's only been one.
It's
week.
only been 1 week. It won't be hot in like 3.
Okay, and I don't mean to skip around too much, but I mean I think we're pretty good on that matchup from last week.
Yeah, no,
I'll let
We are.
That's definitely
Nathan, I say you take us away to
Yeah.
your matchup.
We want to go?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Let's go to your matchup, Nate. Please
let's take
talk us through it.
Let's take a trip over to my matchup. So this is really fun. About an hour before the game on Monday, I get a notification saying, CMC hurt his wussy. He won't be playing tonight. And I'm like, okay, this is great.
He actually
There's
has
literally
Achilles tendonitis.
Yeah, whatever. There's literally he can have my Achilles. There's literally nothing I can do right now but hope Jake Moody drops a 25 bomb. And guess what happened?
That's literally what happened.
Jake Moody dropped a 25 bomb. Because it's weird. It's one of those situations where Moody's the kicker. I have the Jets D. So like, what do I want here? The more Moody scores, the less the Jets D scores. But whatever. I'm like, Moody needs to drop a 30 rack for me to win, and he did. So
Yeah, that's actually.
that was pretty cool.
Yo, can we
Yeah,
clap it
Jake
out?
Moody.
Moody.
Jake Moody.
Jake?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
It
awesome.
deserved a name change. You know
Yeah.
who Moody McCarthy is?
Uh, no.
He's a comedian who's like kind of famous, was on talk shows. He
Oh,
grew
right.
up in Syracuse, went to Corcoran.
Oh.
Yeah, so now my name is Jake Moody McCarthy, in honor of Jake Moody. He didn't die, but he played really well.
In honor of him.
In honor
He's
of
still
him.
with us. But
Jaden Reed with another 30 bomb. Stroud and Colin Stack played well. CMC and A Chain both might be out this week,
yeah, I saw that.
so
Nathan, I don't know if you're gonna win.
I probably won't.
Um, I
It won't be good.
I want to say I'm jealous. Yo, Devon A-Chain. He looks so
Yeah.
He looks really good.
good. I think he's just
His
gonna miss
ankle
this
doesn't,
week.
but he looks really good.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that always surprises me about Devon A. Chain, I guess, in these past 2 years, is you can look at his volume as a running back and shake your head and say he doesn't get enough. I don't trust him for fantasy. And he comes out and he's one of the most efficient players every single week. So
Yeah.
he's one of those guys where you say, geez, I guess regardless of his touches, he's going to eat and he's going to make big plays. And I'm going to be safe this week.
He got receiving work too.
Yeah,
right.
he's a wide
It's
receiver
awesome. I love it.
disguised as a
He
runner.
lined up in the slot for like half of his receptions. It was awesome. I was watching it. I was like, dude, I love this so much. Sheree's side, is Chris Olave like good?
Guys,
You
he
would-
didn't get the ball. I
you
watched
would-
that whole game.
Yeah, you'd expect in a win where they score 47 points that he touches the
He would
ball.
have gotten the ball.
Didn't.
So they don't. I don't know. They won by like 30 and they don't need to give him the ball. That's weird. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're telling me,
Um,
man. I
I
have him in
bet
my
him.
other league.
I don't think this like establishes what Diggs is yet in the Texans offense, but he played really well.
He did.
He
play-
got a touchdown, so like that boosted numbers. That could have been anybody, but he saw the ball a lot more than I thought he would.
Yeah,
It
but
was weird.
I will say he was put in that slot. He's not running deep routes. If I, yeah.
It's Michael Thomas.
He had 6 catches, but I mean he was only able to get 33 yards.
Yeah, yeah, he's
he's taking
reception
slants.
Alvin Kamara's back. That's why.
Alvin Kamara is
Yeah.
very back. Actually,
Very back.
on the topic of Sheree, I think everyone would be interested to know. Here are a couple notable players that were drafted after Chris Olave. So these are all players that are on the draft board. Sheree could have drafted.
Sheree took them. Sheree took Chris Olave before them.
According to Sheree, Chris Olave is better than James Cook, Davon A-Chain, Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, Joe Mixon, Nico Collins, and Alvin Kamara, which he ended
Oh,
up
my.
taking anyways, but still.
Wait a second.
I think that's something where we can go back after the draft, even after only a couple weeks, and that's a glaring bad pick. I mean, I knew going into the season that Olave had a big X on him. What about you?
I
guys?
wasn't drafting Olave, and I'm like, this is
I
my
wouldn't have
second year
drafted
playing
Olave.
fantasy, but like, I hear you guys talk and stuff like that. I knew not to draft Olave. Is that weird? I don't even know fantasy, and I knew that. I'm not trying to roast Sheree, but like, I was going in there with like 3 wants at wide receiver: Mike Evans, Nico Collins. This is in no order. And I don't know, somebody else you just said. I didn't want Chris Olave. I don't know.
Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson looks to actually be good this year.
Workhorse.
I didn't really. I mean, it's New England offense. Who the hell wants to watch that?
No, I didn't watch
Absolutely
it. I don't
nobody.
care.
Jacoby Brissett. He actually played really good. I actually did watch that game. I'm not gonna lie. It was boring.
No, it wouldn't
Yeah,
have.
I mean, you can attribute game flow to a lot of that.
Yeah.
They're always going to want to slow down the game and get
Yeah.
Stevenson his touches, and they did.
All right. Nathan, thank you for talking us through your matchup.
Yeah,
And nice job on the dub.
133 without CMC is promising.
That
It
yeah,
is. I
that
love
is
it.
really promising. Nate.
I love it.
I'm happy for you.
Thank
I'm gonna pivot over to the next the next matchup. We're gonna go over George Easy Pickens name change
I like it.
losing to tank for Caleb Williams, which is Aiden Good.
Mm.
There, if I remember, okay, I believe there's some pretty big takeaways from this game. Correct?
Yeah, the first thing that I have under
Yeah.
George, I have an exclamation point. Joe Mixon, 26.8 fantasy
Yeah.
points. I mean, that was just impressive. I mean, obviously, he scored 26.8 fantasy points, but the more shocking thing is just that he ran the ball for over 100
It was
yards on a
Over
loaded
150
Texans,
yards.
over 150 yards on a loaded Texas offense. So
That offense looks scary. Like, actually.
He carried the ball 30 times.
Yeah.
And Diggs still had 26 fantasy points. Collins still had like how's that possible?
Because CJ Stroud is him.
He's nuts. Wait, who has him in fantasy?
I actually don't know.
Stroud? Yeah, that's me. That was a joke. That's me.
Oh
Anyway,
my
keep
God.
going. Sorry, keep going.
Dude, this dude's a troll.
What would you say?
But
This
no,
dude's a troll.
Joe Mixon ate on that offense with all the weapons they have, and maybe it's part of the Colts defense. Maybe you start a running back that's playing the Colts no matter what. I'm not sure, but I also have down that Kenneth Walker looked legit. I mean, I was always very concerned about Charbonnet taking a lot of touches from him, and to be fair, Charbonnet did steal a receiving touchdown. I mean, he's going to get more of that receiving work. If Ken Walker's there, then we're talking about player of the week. But no, Charbonnet's going to take some stuff from him, but Ken Walker looked legit still. And also, George had Dobbins on his
Which
bench,
is crazy.
who looked
Mhm.
pretty good.
He looked really good.
Did he drafted Dobbins or you picked him up?
Drafted, I
He
assume.
drafted Dobbins.
I
I
can
mean-
look. You can look if you.
Oh, I can.
We're looking at one of the best running back cores in the league. If Dobbins is
Drafted
is
119
going to still
in the 10th round. He was a waiver pickup this week. You drafted him in the 10th round. Is that?
Holy.
no, that's not waiver. That's just the 10th round.
No. He was like I saw him on like TikTok. Like, oh, you should get J.K. Dobbins from waivers. Like, is that? Am I stupid?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I've-
I thought I
A
saw
lot,
that.
I mean, a lot of people probably did
bunch
not
of stuff.
draft
Yeah, he drafted him
J.K.
in the 10th
Dobbins. I
round.
mean, he was hurt. What did he do? He had like an ACL tear last year, right?
Yeah.
No, he tore his Achilles.
Achilles. He was
Yeah.
rehabbing with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Um.
Anyways, let's get to
Yeah. Also, CeeDee Lamb. He had an off week. Like.
Yeah.
That's 30 points, 25 points you're missing out on. If you have that from CeeDee Lamb, this matchup's really close.
5 for 61. Yeah, he didn't even catch a touchdown. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Almost 14 points is an off week.
And-
It actually is, though.
Yeah. Drake London looks like really confusing. That offense is weird. Falcons' offense is weird. I don't really know if it flows that well. I mean, they played the best, like, top 5 defense in the league.
And with the best defensive player. in
Yeah.
the league.
TJ Watt ate them for freaking dinner.
And-
So.
Like, I watched the Falcons game. Kirk is, like, not okay.
No, he's not good.
He's not. No, like, not only is he not good, but, like, he's not. I don't think he's healthy. Like, he's not good, but I also don't think he's healthy. I don't. It didn't. Like, he didn't look right. Like, the passes he was making were not good at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, his Achilles.
It was
yeah.
his Achilles as well. I mean,
Yeah, I
'cause
think so.
I kind of agree. Aaron Rodgers almost looked the same way. I didn't watch any of that Falcons game because I did not have Sunday ticket where I was. However,
Somebody was somewhere
if
else.
I was going to assume that Kirk Cousins looked a particular way, he probably looked exactly like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he didn't look like he wanted to move around at all.
Yeah, they
on
could
Monday
they
night.
could run the thing.
No,
so.
bro. Aaron Rodgers was like, nah, I'm staying put.
So I mean,
Although
Kirk's
he
doing
just
the
said he
same-
wanted to get hit. But like,
Yeah, but Kirk's in the same boat. He also tore his Achilles. So I mean, he's in the same thing where his mobility isn't there. He might not be as
Yeah,
confident.
showed what J.K. Dobbins
So-
did as insane.
maybe that makes the Penix draft look a little bit better. I mean, if I'm Atlanta, I'm giving Penix some reps at some point in the next 2-3 weeks because,
I
You
don't
got
know.
Yeah,
like, if it's a blowout game,
why not?
why not?
He
Maybe
looked
if it's a
amazing on like the biggest college stage too. Like
Yeah.
he played really well then.
He's a NFL ready quarterback, probably the best coming out of the draft.
I think so.
I think Kirk has better games in him now, though, and
I love
Penix learning
Penix.
from all of that, even if it's a year on the bench, can have benefits. I mean, let's look at what Jordan Love did.
Yeah,
under Aaron Rodgers.
Jordan Love had 4 or 5 years on the bench.
That is true, but still, people might want to adopt that policy because they've seen how much it works to just absorb knowledge in your first couple years, maybe just a year.
Have we gone over Aiden Good's team?
I don't believe so.
I don't think we have.
No,
I'm going to do this
we-
quick
Yeah, go ahead.
because I want to move on to the next matchups.
Yep.
This is blowout. Sorry. Aiden, you put up 134 points, bro. That's kind of crazy. Your team looks pretty good. Your RB2 is really, really, really bad. I know you're looking for one. Maybe we can get a deal done involving Zeke, but you don't really have anything that I want. If I'm you, Aiden, I'm really, really praying to God that Jameer Gibbs and Anthony Richardson stay healthy all year, and same with Debo. Those are going to be your 3 guys that are scoring all your points, to be honest, and I don't think Jamar Chase is going to be even close to what he used to be. That offense did not look good. Did not look good. I mean,
Bengals are usually pretty bad week 1.
Your team is, I don't know.
I mean, he has a horrible running back core. I mean, Jalen Warren is your RB2.
Yeah,
That's a shock. That is
I mean,
shocking.
whatever. You won. Moving on.
Yeah.
Sean Mays, Clint Flickers versus Free Zookles, which is Mr. Ramey, who came out with the win this week, 115 to 101. I'm rounding up.
That's fine.
Um,
I give you permission.
Who are we talking about
So-
first in this matchup?
we we all said Sean Mays is gonna have the best team in the league.
We said he would blow Rainey out of the water, didn't we? Probably.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
assume we said that.
we did predict him blowing Ramey out of the water. Here's what I'll say: you got screwed, bro. Your first round pick, Amon-Ra St. Brown, literally had 4 points. I mean, that's been this week's trend. Big name players
Just not performing.
just not performing. I mean, Devonte Adams literally had 11. I thought he was gonna have 15. Jacoby Myers literally had the same amount of points as him, if not more, actually. DK again, super disappointing. Like, it's just a bad week. Week 1 of fantasy. This happens every single year. Everybody gets hype about their teams, and everybody underperforms because they're just not in the season. You know, they're just not
Just
in
not
their form.
ready.
Yeah, no,
They're just not ready.
they're not complete
Yeah.
as a active football player. They're not going to be to the best of their abilities. Mr. Ramey, you have the best offensive player, and he's going to win Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon Barkley. And Rip to Puka.
Rip to Puka.
I mean, do you guys have anything else to say
I
about this?
didn't know if Aaron Jones for Clint Flickers would still have it. He does.
I believe in
He
Aaron
ran-
Jones a lot.
He ran really well. It's not that I didn't believe him, but I was questionable, and he still has it. He proved me wrong.
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's and then Alvin Kamara looks really good.
he does.
James, I believe you owe somebody an apology.
Yeah, so Mr. Ramey, David, if that's okay. I wrote down first in my notes to apologize profusely. I mean, there's a lot of things said about your team, and whilst some of those things are probably still true, I don't imagine you make the playoffs. But if you get there, it is because of Saquon Barkley winning Offensive Player of the Year and putting up 25 a week. Because wow, Saquon looked so good in that game. I mean, we
Just immediately too.
Oh my god, bro.
in the receiving work area looked fine. I mean, that was one of his touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yes.
And I mean, we could talk about Saquon Barkley for so long, and you guys can bring up some points too. But all I also wrote is Josh Jacobs looks like he has a very high floor. It
Yeah.
looks like he has a workload that he's going to get every week, and I wasn't as much concerned about the workload, but maybe just how efficient he'd be. I mean, not everyone had hope for him after coming from a Raiders team that usually runs the ball well. They didn't, and now he comes to the Packers, and he looks good.
I texted Nate after the Eagles game, and I was like, oh my god, like the reach for Barkley. Like, remember when he reached for Barkley in the 1st round? And I was like, dude, the reach for Barkley is looking like Barkley fell. Like, he played insane. Like, I texted that to Nate, and Nate literally goes back, like, what did Ramey know? He's just an Eagles fan. But
Yeah.
still, like, the reach to fall, that swing is insane.
I mean, I feel like he did that last year too.
I feel like he did do that, but still,
He likes
like
his Philly guys.
I don't know. He knows stuff. Raimi's a wizard. That's all I have to say. He's using witchcraft.
Yeah, let's just leave that matchup. You're a wizard,
Yeah,
Ramey.
dude, you're a wizard.
Wizard Rain.
And then is this the last matchup of the week? We have Vegas Gamblers, which is Aiden Kerr, versus. Holy shit! You're so lucky that I did not put up 90 points, Nick, 'cause I'd be shitting on you. Justin Jefferson for president. Bro, you want a dude scoring 16 points for president? By all means, go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
You got crushed, dog. 137. My boom team pick to 89. Wow. This is wow.
89 points.
It was over after the 1:00 games, if I recall.
This is really bad.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably over at
You know,
halftime of the 1:00
Nathan,
games.
what do you think, man? Like,
Is there? I don't even know if there's like much to comment on. Nobody and like on okay, so on Aiden's team, nobody had like nobody had over 20,
Yeah.
right? Like there wasn't a huge booming player, but just like 14 from ETN, 14 from Connor, 16 from Garrett Wilson, who will probably finish the wide receiver one. Zay Flowers with
Wow.
11. Like Godwin. Oh, Godwin had 22. I thought that said 12. Godwin had 22. That's a nice output, even with Evans getting a bunch of touches too. Like it's a bunch of solid performances, and the Vikings played the Giants, which that's self-explanatory.
Um, here's what I'm gonna say. I wouldn't worry about Sam Laporta. Every tight end literally did horrible. Unless your
Horrible.
name is Isaiah Likely.
Yeah.
Um, Yo, Nate, your two highest scorers are on your bench. You had Xavier Worthy and Jameson Williams, with Worthy with 21 points and Jameson Williams with 25.
He's a
damn near.
Lions fan. You didn't even start JMO.
Dude, what is wrong with
Like,
you?
you
Why-
are
why-
you a Lions fan or not? Like,
Why
what
would
are,
you not
what are
try?
you doing here?
Like, I don't know. That's just weird to me.
You started one of Deshaun Watson's receivers over
Well,
I thought it was
JMO.
gonna
To be
pan out.
fair,
That
I
dude's
mean-
the worst quarterback in the league.
That's a rough matchup, and not a lot of people thought that Deshaun Watson would be as bad as he was. Amari Cooper has played well with bad quarterback play for years now. I wouldn't panic on
that is a pretty good point.
that. I think Jamison Williams is your only hope. He had 9 targets. That's a lot for him. I don't know what his high is, but that's a lot. Christian Kirk, I wouldn't panic on him yet, but I would start stressing. We know what Trevor Lawrence can turn into, and that's a pile of garbage.
Oh
So-
boy.
There's that, and AJK, I want to clap it up for you for drafting Chris Godwin.
That's a great draft. I went into the draft wanting Godwin, so I agree with you. I would have liked Godwin.
Yeah, I mean, this might be his ceiling. I mean, is this the best he can do? Maybe.
I don't
But
think
if
it
you
is.
can get anything close to this, next week and the week after at your flex, I mean, that's
Yeah.
a set it and forget it at flex.
I mean, there's no way Alan Lazar does what he did this week every week, correct?
Yeah.
So that means Garrett Wilson's going to get those points. And
Yeah.
He had 12 this week. There's no way Garrett Wilson has like 12 every single week.
Ooh.
Um.
One last thing about Chris
Yeah, yeah.
Godwin. I had one other note
Oh, what's up?
about the draft.
Yes, James.
Chris Godwin was at the top of the draft for a while on draft night. Some players taken before him. With Chris Godwin still on the board, Aiden Good drafted Jalen Warren. I think
Oh,
Smays took Keenan Allen, who's on his bench.
Did I take anybody
Austin.
before Godwin?
Yeah,
Austin,
I took somebody.
You
before.
took Deontay Johnson before Chris Godwin. And
That's really bad.
Christian Kirk, who was on Nate Cominoli's team this week, 4 points. So these are all people who really didn't perform at all week 1, but Chris Godwin was up there for a while, ladies and gentlemen, and I passed on him too. So
I
Not much
I
else to
mean,
say.
if the odds are, I probably did too. But
Yeah.
mostly because all of you were, and I'm a sheep. So
Lamar Jackson had 122 rushing yards. What the hell? Like that's kind of crazy.
yeah, he's a running back. It's the greatest thing ever.
So
love
I think that's gonna wrap up the matchups for like going over the matchups from last week. There's a bunch of points that I think we want to get to, and not necessarily. What do you guys think? Do you wanna prioritize like going over matchups right now, or do you want to talk about some other interesting things? Because if we go over matchups week 2, I think it should be brief because Gary kind of went into depth.
Well, if you guys have stuff you want to talk about that isn't the matchups, fire away. That's okay. Because
I-
if Garrett argued the matchups, you can just it's fine.
yeah, Garrett, when you come on the show, that can be your segment.
Yeah,
You
you
can have
you can do your matchup stuff on our show. That's fine.
So
It'll be a crossover. That'd be cute.
there's a stat that I saw on Monday night, and that said average passing yards per game for the quarterbacks in week 1 was 188.3 yards, which is the lowest since 2007. So what does that mean? Guys, we're all going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's all gonna be
That's
okay.
that's an all-time low in passing yards. Like,
Yeah.
if you had a receiver have a honestly a shit week, you're gonna be fine. Like, just remember, it's week one. That's what I want to actually emphasize. It's week one. Don't panic. I know sometimes, like me, last year, I panicked after week one. The guys that I traded away were really good by the end of the year. So I would just kind of, take it week by week and don't rush nothing. Um, that's
188 yards is like 2 times down the field.
Yeah,
Guys,
that's not
guys,
good.
guys can do that in a half.
Yeah, like,
Like they're NFL. Like it
horrible
doesn't
week.
matter.
This is week
Horrible
one of the
week.
NFL season.
Well, I mean, it's not a lot of great situations for people either.
No.
I mean, three
No.
rookies started, which is fine, but rookies aren't usually gonna have the best game of their career week one. Actually, I mean, Caleb Williams was doomed from the start. I mean, we all know how first overall picks play in their first game. I think has anyone won their first game after being the first overall pick? I'm not sure.
Since 2002, that is a first win.
Yeah, yeah.
Caleb Williams, you knew
and
him.
it was not because of Caleb Williams.
No, it's because of his defense.
So
That's actually funny.
I mean, and then obviously Josh Allen didn't have the passing yards you'd think he has. I mean, but he's got a whole new wide receiver room to work with.
He's the reason Buffalo won that game, by the way.
Yeah,
Josh Allen single-handedly put that team on his back.
Garrett. I think Josh Allen was a great pick for you. I mean, obviously, me and you love Josh, but it took me until watching Week 1 to realize how often Josh Allen would have to do things on his own. I mean, he might average one rushing touchdown per game, like, and that's 6 guaranteed points. I don't know.
I'm looking at the top scorers, like the 3 top
Yeah.
scorers from each team. It's pretty split between running backs and wide receivers. Like even like if I'm looking right here, even in this bad week, you still have Cup up here. You still have
Yeah.
Cup, Reed, Diggs.
Yeah.
Like you still there's still guys, right? Like it's gonna be okay. Like some of the receivers still performed well
Oh, yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, no, like, they still benefited from like, it's going to be fine. I mean, I don't know. It's week one.
It's week 1.
Yeah,
Evans,
please.
like Tyreek Hill, like guys had good weeks.
Yeah, you got arrested, and then you still did that.
Yeah, I mean, please, guys, if there's anything that you can walk away with here, just the announcement, the public service announcement. Just don't sell the league
Breathe.
right now.
Just
I mean,
breathe.
we can't have anyone offering horrible trades that go through,
Yeah, no.
and then we all look back and we're like, they panicked after week 1, and that's what ended the league. I mean, guys, don't do anything dumb.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill got arrested and still had 26 points. Mark Andrews, like, what's your excuse? I don't understand. Right? Like, James, like, what's up with that?
There's not much for me to say. I put in my waiver claim for likely, knowing I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah.
Because I was one in the waiver claims this week.
Good for you.
Nice.
Thank
nice,
God.
nice,
I
good job,
actually
good
picked
job.
up. We're going to discuss who I got in the waiver claim.
Sure.
I picked up. I think I did good. I got Emmanuel Wilson, Isaiah Likely, and I also got Alan Lazard off waivers.
Alan Lazard.
I feel like that's a good waiver wire week for me.
Who's the first one?
Emmanuel Wilson, Green Bay
Yeah.
running back.
That's a good trio.
Yeah.
I like that trio.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's not really many notable guys. I mean, who picked up Pierce?
Alec Pierce?
Yeah.
Ramey, I believe.
Okay, Ramey. That's a great pickup
That's a
because
good
that's actually
pickup.
the guy that I wanted
Yeah.
after Isaiah Likely, and I didn't end up getting him.
Yeah.
So
Ramey picked up Alec Pierce. I think this morning I picked up Wandell Robinson.
oh yeah,
Led the Giants with
Rondale.
12 targets. So that
Yeah.
it could turn into something. I could drop him after next week. Who really knows? I don't know. That was me. Sorry, I knocked.
yeah, that was him knocking the desk.
Yeah, I could drop him after next week. I don't know. Yeah. Speaking of Alec Pierce, Sean Stevenson, hit me up about AD Mitchell. Anyway, keep going.
I'm looking at the waiver report right now. I don't. There's really nothing else significant other than
Yeah.
the top guys.
No,
Yeah.
there isn't like a
Need to
Kyron
wait-
Williams pickup. Or
Need to
anything.
wait for some injuries to happen for this. Waiver
Oh,
to get
Jordan.
rolling.
Who got Jordan Mason?
Smays did.
Smays did. Of course you did.
Actually,
You little
I
stinker.
Jordan Mason.
Yeah, I want him because I don't know how long McCaffrey's gonna be out.
I
Sometimes.
don't know either. and
Hey,
that's
that-
what
Yeah,
sucks.
that's gotta hurt, doesn't it?
It
you-
hurts.
Do you feel like super uncertain about everything in your fantasy team right now?
Everything, literally everything.
Well, especially the nature of his injury. You know, it's his
Yeah.
Achilles, which is very important, and you know it's tendonitis, so it can be here or there, this week or next week.
Right.
You don't know when he's not going to be able to start, and you can't prepare for that.
And the Niners like to tell us an hour before game time. I love that. That's my favorite thing ever is when they tell me like 30 minutes before that he's not playing.
And
That's great.
And if I'm you, I say keep McCaffrey out of the lineup, out of practice, out of even walking for the next 4 or 5 weeks, just to ensure
He
that
will
he's there
play.
and healthy the rest of the way.
Yes,
That-
he will play like 100% the rest of the year. Next week, I'm going to start Brian Robinson and Julian McLaughlin at running backs. And I'm going to have a great time with it. That's sarcasm.
I do want to point out. Don't worry, guys. The episode's gonna come to an end in like 15 minutes. You guys said you don't really care about the length of time, so I'm not gonna be too cautious about it. But just letting you know, probably keep it at least an hour under. I do think Justin Fields looked really good. I mean, they didn't score a touchdown, but he still played pretty damn good. I think it's interesting that he's also going to be playing next week as well because they already said that. And Russell Wilson is the captain of the team and was already named QB1. And the way that Justin Fields played looks like he should be their starting quarterback. Do you guys agree, disagree?
I don't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what team he plays for.
He literally.
Plays
Oh,
the
he
Steelers.
plays for the Steelers, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch that game.
I did not watch that game
Oh,
either.
well,
I
so I'm the only
apologize.
one that actually watched that game.
Well, because you had Fields last year. Is that why?
No, because Aiden Ryan was in my room. We were watching the Steelers
Okay,
game.
that makes more
That is
sense.
why.
Go because he likes Steelers.
It was
Yeah.
Steelers Falcons. It was a pretty
Okay.
good game, actually.
Well,
Got
I
it.
didn't. I was in. I was at UB visiting Mandy, so
Shocker.
I
Yeah.
did. Shocker! There was no NFL
Wait,
Sunday ticket.
You go to school there, right?
I do. Yeah, I'm a full-time student at University.
Full
of
time
Buffalo.
at UB.
At a university at Buffalo.
So
Um,
he looked good.
No, he actually did look really good.
Okay.
I was
was
impressed with
there
Justin Fields.
was there like rushing and all like
Yeah, it was
all
rushing and
facets?
passing. Yeah.
He probably very much so attributed to the
Yeah, he
average
did.
of 188 passing yards from
He did.
quarterbacks because he
He-
probably threw sub 150.
He
did
probably
he?
brought that down.
I don't actually know.
Um,
He still throws to Pickens, right? Pickens is on the Steelers.
Pickens looked insane.
Oh, yeah,
Holy
Pickens.
cow.
I think is it George who has Pickens again?
Yeah, George has
Yeah.
Pickens. This is his name.
George, I'd be very happy with George Pickens. I mean, he didn't have like an insane fantasy week, but I mean, you saw
Yeah.
production pretty reliably, and I would love that.
Justin Fields, 17 for 23, 156 passing yards. He didn't throw a touchdown, though, but
What was that completion rate? How many?
17 for 23. That's really good.
17,
And he had
that's efficient.
57 rushing yards on 14 carries.
Yeah, I mean the Falcons' defense is fairly stingy.
Yeah.
They have a pretty decent secondary and some good corners. But
I want to say, moving on from that, George, we need to address this. How are you going to offer some crazy type of trade? And when I tell you that it's crazy, you react like that. What is, guys? Can you back me, please?
can
Like-
you just give me a reminder? I mean, obviously I remember what happened. But give me a reminder of what was offered.
Oh, I'll remind you.
We have to keep a level head. Okay, we have to keep our composure.
Oh,
in all
composure.
negotiations.
Composure is,
Far out the window.
brother.
Composure is lost.
George proposed this for me, and I will say, George, you know how to propose a trade because you actually said I have a proposal for you.
That's good. We like that.
That is good. I'm proud of you, George.
Yes, we like that.
George.
Claps for George,
yeah.
please. Yeah, claps for George. Thank
Before
you.
we even had to say
Before
anything.
Before
had
we
to say
even
anything.
said the proposal, it could be it could be horrible, but he
Oh.
proposed.
It is.
Okay.
George wanted to give me CeeDee Lamb, knowing that I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yes.
Oh, that's tempting.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Oh, because of the proposal. Okay.
For Cooper Cup and Brees Hall.
Oh my god. CD for the
Cup and Hall.
And I said, no, George, you're on drugs.
yeah.
Because that's what I honestly felt when you offered me that. And then he said, CD for Marvin Cup.
We were just talking about how after week 1, you really shouldn't be trading and panicking. He's banking on the fact that you're gonna panic on Marvin Harrison Jr., even though he has a role in that offense and it just wasn't quite fulfilled this week. But that everything that anyone has said about Maserati Marv has been he's even better than what the hype is.
Even
It-
better.
Better.
Even
Do you know
better.
who his dad is? Like, that's
Yo,
crazy.
Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I think it's some dude named Marvin Harris. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
He was pretty good.
But I mean, George. I mean, CD is great, George. But you're talking about Cooper Cup, who, I mean, in his current position, you could justify drafting him 1 overall.
Yeah.
He's in triple crown categories once again. So CD Lamb for Cooper Cup, right there, at least for the first 5 weeks of the season, I'm not even sure if I would take that trade. And then you want to just, why don't you just throw in Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Because he put up 1.4 points. Dude, he's a rookie. It's week 1.
That's not someone that you just throw into a trade. You know,
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's not how that works.
like you don't just say, oh, and that bag of chips over there, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
What?
That's
Yeah,
no.
that's kind
The
of
only person you like more than Cup is
See-
Devin Booker.
Yeah.
That's the only person like you like
Yeah.
Booker and then Cup.
Yeah, athletes for
Like,
me literally go
yes.
Devin Booker,
Booker,
Cooper
Cup.
That's
Like, you're
that's
not-
below Cooper Cup for me.
You're not giving him away that easily.
No,
That's
I
not
have-
how that works.
Dude, I have a Cooper Cup jersey.
Yeah.
Before I had a freaking Cowboys jersey.
Yeah, it's like that.
Like,
you're
think
not
about
giving
this.
it up that easy.
No. So,
No.
quite frankly, George, yeah, you are insane for offering that. I'm sorry, bro. Like, that's an insane trade offer. Not you yourself are insane. That trade offer is insane. I should.
In the
I should
group
Yeah,
resign.
you're a great guy. But
Oh, you were going
trade's
crazy in the
insane.
group chat. I will say that. That was kind of crazy. Anyways,
What else do you got lined up for us, Mr. Austin?
the trade block,
Okay.
guys. I'm pretty sure everyone's up for trade. I'm not gonna lie. The way the group chat looked after Sunday, what I gathered, I don't read all of it, but from
it's hard.
what I read, everybody wants to trade their whole team. I so on this sheet I have everybody question mark, but also nobody question mark
Because it's not going to happen.
because you should guys chill out. Don't
It's
trade-
not going to
don't
happen,
trade
and it
everybody.
shouldn't happen.
And no trade. Like realistically, nobody's gonna accept a trade right now. Like I just don't see it unless it's actually fair. Because I think we're at a point where like you can't just fleece anyone anymore.
Yeah, literally on the trade block it says everybody, and then under it says nobody, because you should like there shouldn't be any major trades right now.
Yeah.
That's not. You gotta wait. It's way too early. Like
No.
I literally learned 10 minutes before that CMC broke his Achilles. Like what if I traded you that? Like you would
Yeah,
be
that's not
you
okay.
would be pissed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that first of all, I wouldn't do that. But like you would be so pissed.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm gonna say. I have that power rankings waiver, that form that got sent out. I'm gonna make a graphic. I'm gonna post those as soon as I possibly can. I think I'm only gonna post the top 5, but then you have to tune into these episodes to hear the full list.
Yeah, I
So-
like that. Edge 'em.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the week 2 power rankings will go out on Monday morning. Or sorry, Tuesday morning. Please, and I'm asking you please, for the sake of content and for the sake of time, we record on Thursdays. Please, please, please fill the form out by Thursday
So,
morning.
We have from Tuesday morning to Thursday night.
You have from Tuesday morning to Thursday morning to fill out the
Thursday
form
morning,
I
because
have
we're
to
filming
create
Thursday.
Yes, because
Okay.
I have to create the graphic and I have to make the list. So that's all I have to say on that point. James, Nathan, do you guys have anything, any lingering thoughts? Anything you want to say before we send it off?
I think the only other thing that we could do is we could make our picks for the week very snappy, just so we can get our input.
Yeah,
Obviously, Garrett has his picks.
fast round of picks.
Where are we starting?
Let's take a look.
Yeah, Hey, James. Laptop charger, please. Thanks, man. It's in my backpack.
I'll go
Sorry.
first. Fast round of picks.
Let's just say names.
Me against Nate. Nate D against Nate C. I'm not going to pick against myself, but Nate C will probably win because I'm going to start BRJ and Julia McLaughlin. Garrett against George. Aiden Good
Okay.
against Sean Mays. Sean Mays. Austin against Ramey.
Yeah, as it should be.
Nate against Sean Stevenson. Nate. And James against Aiden Kerr. I have to take James.
Wow.
Austin, what do you got?
Okay.
Don't blink, you'll miss it.
Rapid fire.
This is rapid fire. All right. Austin versus Ramey. I'm taking myself in Austin.
Good pick.
Garrett versus Easy Pickens. I'm picking Garrett. Tank for Caleb Williams, Aiden Good, Clint Flickers, Sean Mays. I'm gonna go with Sean Mays. You're gonna have a bounce back week. You have to start Jordan Mason. It's rewind time. Sheree versus 49ers QB room, which is Sean Stevenson. I'm gonna go with it's rewind time. I still don't have any faith in your team, Sean Stevenson. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Let James Cook versus Vegas Gamblers. I'm going to say this is the matchup of the week, and I'm going to pick James Derrick because of Tyreek Hill.
Easy,
And
sir.
lastly, Jake Moody.
Jake Moody
What is it?
McCarthy.
Jake Moody McCarthy
Yep. Thank you.
versus Justin Jefferson for president, which is Nate Cominoli. I have to take Justin Jefferson for
You
president
do.
because of your injuries.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Nathan.
it's tough.
James, I'm going to swing it over to you.
All right, I'm gonna start with my own matchup here. Let James Cook and Vegas Gamblers. Give me myself. I mean, why would I pick against me?
Damn straight.
That's all I have for that. Easy Pickens, George Delia against Garrett. I'm gonna have to go with George. I think Dalton Kincaid comes back a little better. CD's CD, and he has a great running back core. George did draft pretty well in that aspect. Smays against Aiden Good. Give me Smays. I think Jamar has another tough matchup against Kansas City, who's probably going to defend him pretty well, and you might not get the output that you want from your superstar. Ramey, Austin. I'm gonna have to go Austin, but Ramey, you can make it interesting with Saquon there. Just not enough else with Puka Nakua out. Sheree and Stevie. Give me Stevie. Sheree, your auto draft team is just not. I just don't like it. I hate Michael Pittman. Not Michael. I don't hate him. I hate Chris Olave, and I don't love Pittman or Diggs, and those are your wide receivers who need to produce. So, then Nathan against Nate. A little name game matchup.
Oh, watch out.
Yeah, Nate. The injuries.
It's tough.
So
a tough
I'm
match.
gonna
That's
have
just
to
a bad
go
beat
with
for you.
Cominoli.
is.
Is he actually starting Jameson Williams?
No, yeah, he will. No, I think he is.
Yeah.
He's in his lineup.
No more Christian Kirk. He got benched.
Kirk
So, yeah.
Duggins got benched.
No.
Christian Kirk. My
yeah,
fault.
Christian
Yeah,
Kirk.
Christian Kirk got benched.
And so yeah, give me Nate.
It's
Cominoli.
fair benching.
All right, so those are our picks for week 2.
Quick picks.
Yeah, quick picks.
Quick
We don't need
picks.
to go into that stuff. That's Garrett's job. That's what he knows. That's what he does.
Garrett's
That's what
specialty.
he's good at, man.
Yeah.
Gotta appreciate the Uhhh7 Fantasy Focus. Thank you for putting that out today. I think that's gonna be a wrap for week 2, guys. Thank you for coming on. We will be back for week 3, and I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I know it's a long one. Catch us on Spotify or YouTube, and we will see you guys next week. Have a good night, everybody.
Later.
Peace.